Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now.
Alright, we are on and it's recording now. Okay, hello there everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick, episode 15. Yes, I am your host, as always, Samuel Warwick. And today, we actually have 3 co-hosts with me today. We got one new one, and we have a first female, but I'll get to her in a minute. We have our 2 returning ones, Martin Kreps.
Hello, Sam.
And Jordan Robinson.
John Ball.
And our newest co-host, I don't know what number she is. I forgot. She might be number 7, 6, or 7. Like new. She's a newcomer. But we have Hannah Gale.
Hi, everybody.
There she
Good to be here.
Well, I just gotta ask you guys. You know, we had a little bit of some trouble, everybody. But I just gotta ask, how is everybody doing now? How are the 3 of you doing now?
Doing good.
All right, that is awesome. Whoa, I'm going to go on ahead and get on with our guest today because we had to battle a lot to get him on. And he's actually another one of my favorite voice actors that we have had. So he, as you guys know, he is actually, he's known mainly for his voice of Bowser in the earlier Mario games, starting with the Nintendo GameCube, starting with his debut of Super Mario Sunshine. And let's see, I'm trying to think what else. I think he's still doing some voiceover stuff for Nintendo, for what I've seen.
We'll talk about what this all is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll talk about
and he's been in some surprising things. And he's been in some surprising things that I never even noticed that he's been in. But I've known him mainly for Bowser. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get to our guest. We have the Scott Burns with us, the first voice of Bowser.
Wow, there we are. Hello, thank you for having me on. Or should I say, how dare you ruin my...
Yes! Thank you for that intro. Thank you.
No screens were harmed in the flame.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna have an intro like that.
I didn't. I'm glad you're psychic.
Oh my god, yeah!
I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that. So first of all, before we get into the podcast, I just gotta say thank you, Mr. Burns, Scott Burns, for being a part of this podcast. You don't know how much this means the world to me right now.
Well, thank you. It means the world to me too to have fans who still remember that I'm around.
Yeah, it's just really awesome. And I just, one thing is I liked your note about saying that you saw some of the episodes of my podcast. I gotta ask, May I ask you which episodes did you see? And did you know any familiar people?
I didn't recognize, it's when we first started communicating, it was like, a month ago or something? Or 2 months ago, so I haven't been back to visit now. And I'm a bad note taker.
Yeah, what episode was it? What episode was it? Do you remember?
It was one of the early ones. I'm thinking number 3.
Pete Capella. We had Pete Capella. He was the voice of Silver the Hedgehog.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
If you don't remember him.
I don't remember yesterday, so...
Oh, yeah, because he was in the Mario and Sonic games, actually. So, remember the Mario and Sonic game crossovers that they did?
Yeah.
I think they reused some of your voices in that.
Well, that's interesting, because a lot of what I did back in the early days of Bowser, they have repurposed it.
Which
is, and I will explain the whole, I'm no longer doing Bowser for Nintendo.
Yeah. Of course.
Because of a technicality with the union, the SAG-AFTRA union. At the time, they weren't combined, and Nintendo Corporation, as wonderful as they are not signed on with the union. So I was in effect not working illegally, but because I didn't know, my agent sent me to the audition. I was requested by the studio in Seattle to come in, and they said, "Do you want your name on the credits?" And I said, "Well, sure, that'd be great."
That's very interesting.
SAG, which I didn't think had any jurisdiction over video games by any means, came in and said, "It's come to our attention that you have done work for a non-union entity like Nintendo,
yes.
so cease and desist." And I thought, well, I could just forget SAG, but in the event that I wanted to move to Los Angeles or whatever, I
of course
had to opt out. But Nintendo still keeps reusing me, so I'm happy about that.
I'm just, of course, always, when I was younger, I played games like Mario Kart Double Dash and Super Mario Sunshine. Of course, I have the GameCube version. It's actually, I have no access to it at the moment because I'm actually in a academic home, which is basically like a group home at the moment, just with roommates and stuff like that. I'm not back with my dad due to some stuff. Some stuff really happened this fall that just kind of sort of went out, and I wasn't able to get and I wasn't able to do a podcast and would continue on. It was just really hard.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But before I get rid into anything else before we talk about Mario, I gotta ask. I always ask people their journey. How did you first get in, to voice acting or acting in general? Because I've seen your channel. You've done some acting too.
Oh, thank you. My journey started young when I would watch cartoons, of course, on TV. Cartoons before you kids were born today.
Oh yes.
But I always do you remember the Flintstones?
Oh yes, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, Boomerang. Boomerang did a lot of that.
I've never seen it.
Boomerang aired a lot of these things.
They had toys. They had toys like they do now, merchandise. And my parents, I remember getting the Flintstone car, which was just a thing. I know, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And I remember wishing that I could do the voice of Fred Flintstone when I was playing, and I don't know why I remember that, but that was my first instance of being cognizant of doing a voice for animation or whatever like that. And then when my sister got herself a tape recorder, that was like, oh my goodness, I got to play with this. And that's when I first started recording myself and doing little shows, in the living room, talking into her tape recorder. And then I got an interest in radio, doing morning show radio, where I'd listen to a disc jockey or a guy in Spokane, Washington, about 75 miles away. It seemed like ages, far. It seemed like a distant planet when I was growing up on a farm. And he had a bunch of characters on his show, and I didn't realize at the time that the characters were him doing the voices, interacting with them. And I thought, wow, that was really cool. I love that. And that's what I wanted to do. So I got into radio, and through different radio stations, and I always wanted to do the morning show because that's where you got to do all the funny, goofy voices and stuff. It wasn't to be a radio DJ, playing records. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to be goofy on the radio.
Yeah, of course.
And do voices. So, and I did all this, Popeye, Clint Eastwood, just, a bunch of impersonations and things like that, and built them into little skits and all that. So, and that took me to Spokane, Washington, Boston, Massachusetts, and then eventually Seattle.
Wow.
And so then, I'm getting to the point of how I got into doing the voices. The radio stations at that time were pretty much all AM radio stations. FM radio was just kind of coming in, and so they were offering a little bit of competition because they're playing really nice music, and really, music on FM sounds so much better than AM. So I was on an AM radio station, and they were making changes, and they eventually, as happens in radio, let me go. Well, I happen to know that there was a guy named Pat Fraley Is anybody are familiar with Pat
Yeah.
Fraley?
Oh, I don't know Pat Finley. I think I heard of him. It's really hard.
I know who he is.
He was the voice of Krang in the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtle
Yeah.
cartoon series. So he's the voice in the belly of somebody. And Pat he's also the voice of Buzz Lightyear in the games.
Oh yeah. Now I know. Now I know who he is.
Pat had worked at an ad in Seattle. He also developed a radio promotion where he was all the voices on it, and it was a mystery type thing. And he'd done work for the radio station that I had just gotten let go of. And I'd heard that he was in Los Angeles now and working for Hanna-Barbera, of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
So full circle there. So the radio station, when they let me go, was kind enough, and this is very rare. They actually said, "We feel bad about this. Is there anything that we can do for you?" And I said, "I would like to meet Pat Fraley." And I kind of got that look of like, "Really, you don't want another radio job, or you don't want to?" I said, "No, I want to meet Pat Fraley." Now this was before the internet and before
Yeah.
So I needed his address or a phone number, and so they gave me Pat's phone number, and Pat invited me to drive down to LA to meet him, because I wanted to find out more about how you get doing, animation jobs and things like that. I'd never really had thought about it before. I just had done commercials for the radio stations I worked for, but didn't realize that there was a world over. And this was 1980-ish. 81. So I know you weren't around yet, but this is right, before the internet again. So Pat was kind enough to have me come down. He invited me into their condominium that he and his wife were living in, and he showed me his studio. I said, "You have a studio?" And his studio was a closet. His closet with his shirts, and he had a microphone on a stand and a cassette recorder, and he said, "This is how I do auditions." And I said, what's an audition? I was still kind of a neophyte in this. And he's in Los Angeles. You would record, get a script from your agent and record it, and then send the cassette in. They didn't have the internet then. So you had to put it on a cassette and then deliver it to the agent's office. I know it sounds archaic, but that's the way it was done. And I was fascinated, and he said, "Well, you should get an agent in Seattle." And I felt like saying, "But Pat, I want to live with you." but anyway, I went back to Seattle and got myself an agent, and she was an older lady who really primarily kind of worked with theater actors and things like that. And then somebody else said, "No, you need to go over to this agent here who's more hip and has it going on." So I got an agent and then started receiving scripts. And fortunately I was working at another radio station by now, so that I could record auditions, or I could go into her office and record into a cassette player, which again, archaic, but that's the way it was done. They would have you come in and read the script, and then they would send it to the client, and then the client would choose who they want. So that's how I got started in doing voiceover, was here in Seattle.
Wow.
My first job was I played now I don't know if this is even going back before my time. Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snurd were a ventriloquism act way back in the 1940s, and they were there was a bank that was doing a parody of these 1940s radio broadcasts, and I got to play Charlie McCarthy. So I was like, "I'm telling you, Mortimer, it's a lead pipe cinch," and that was the voice that I had to imitate. So that's kind of where it began, and progressively got more commercial work. But then the advent of video games became apparent.
Oh, yes.
Are you familiar with Humongous? Putt Putt.
Yes.
Joins the parade?
Oh, yeah. Putt Putt. Yes. I have another friend who loves the Putt Putt series. His name is CEO 100th Abel. Big shout out to him. Yeah, he loves Putt Putt. I've seen him play it before. It's a pretty good game.
It's a great game. It was a great game. You had to load it in with discs, though. Back in the day, you had to put you had to put a bunch of discs in a computer.
Oh,
or floppy
yes.
discs.
Yeah.
But due to since I'd been on the radio and had done some voices, character voices, I was kind of known in Seattle a little bit already. So that really helped. That they were kind of familiar with what I could do, and then so I auditioned for a character called Bear, who was, and this is a silly. If Fatty Bear is a bear who bakes a cake for the girl who owns him, Kayla, and it was a one-off. It was the game never took any place, but it was like, oh, this is so exciting! I'm going to I'm going to make a cake for Kayla. It sounded kind of creepy, but that was it. And then the people at Humongous had me come in and start reading for Mr. Baldini, the hey there, a very, very bad Italian impersonation. But hey, would you go to the grocery store and pick me up some zucchini?
Oh, I think I saw that. I think I saw that.
So, and then, yeah, and he's a car. Obviously, they're all cars in Putt Putt. And then there was I'm not sure if I was Eddie the Eel in Freddy Fish.
Oh, Freddy Fish. I think I've heard of that too.
Eddie the Eel and a little pirate playing a ukulele or something like that. So a lot of little incidental roles, and then eventually I'll get to so here's the Bowser story.
Yes.
By now that I was familiar to these people, and especially the studio manager at Bad Animals Studio in Seattle, which is a legendary studio where all these bands played, Heart and Tower of Power. I mean, Alice in Chains. Everybody. It was,
Wow.
It was a big studio, and still is. But Wendy, the studio manager, knew my work, and she asked if I would come in. She asked my agent. She goes, "Can you have Scott come in and read for Nintendo? They're doing some new characters."
All right.
And this is the first time that Bowser had a speaking voice. Prior to then he'd just been growls and grunts and all that. This was for Sunshine Mario.
Oh yes.
So, and I wasn't. Yeah. So they said this is the first time we're having him speak English, and I wasn't that familiar with Bowser, to be quite honest with you. And they said, well, that's because he comes in towards the end of the game and ruins Mario's life. So so they showed me a little picture of him, and they said, well, this is for kids, so we don't want him to be too mean. He's a he's a
just
guy,
ignore my phone, by the way. Just ignore my phone. My phone is
okay.
Just ignore it.
If it's my agent, let me know.
No, it's not. No.
But so I thought, well, they wanted him approachable for kids, so I did a combination of Santa Claus with a growl, and that's so my Santa Claus. But if I put a growl on him, he's going to sound like this. So that's kind of how Bowser came to be. Is Bowser. You.
Wow.
I am king of the Koopas.
Yeah, and also, I
can hear it.
Yeah, I just got to ask, how was it like to work with Charles Martinet and Jen Taylor and Canty?
Yeah.
Canty, I actually emailed Canty, but I don't think she got back to me.
Which who?
Canty, I'm not sure whether. Yeah, she played Junior.
Caitlin. Yes. I don't.
How was it like to work with the three of them?
I did meet Charles Martinet, fantastic man, and all. The first time I saw him, I was in the booth. I was in the booth doing Bowser, and then he came in afterwards to do his lines. And all I saw, I remember seeing this gentleman in the back with this big smile on his face, and he basically, that is who he is. He is just always smiling, and he said, I would do every voice. I would do all the voices if I could. He just loves doing those voices. So
yeah,
I did
sure
get to meet him, but we didn't really have scenes together. I mean, because they record everything and then they piece everything together. So you don't really get to work with them.
I find that out. I found that out when I've interviewed people. Most of the time sometimes they do put you in a group, but sometimes they don't.
Right. Yeah. For this one they did. I wasn't in the group, but he did follow. You know, he had a lot more lines to do. They take everybody one at a time. Now Jen Taylor, I do know, because she's been in Seattle for years and years, and she's marvelous. And just
I'd love to have her on as well.
And who?
I love to have Jen Taylor on.
I would highly recommend that you reach out to her. If I no longer live in Seattle, so I don't run into her by any means.
Okay, it's fine.
She is super fantastic and extremely talented, as you know. So, and just a really nice person. My boss at the ad agency where I worked for a while said her voice is like chocolate. It's like melted chocolate when she talks. You know, just does commercial work. So she does work beyond characters as well. You know, she does characters, commercials. She was the voice of Taco Time for a while. So how about that for trivia? Yeah. But anyway, so that's where Mario or Bowser came to be, and then I also did the voice of the judge, a couple of the policemen.
Oh yeah, I remember those scenes.
Yeah,
Mario shall not be allowed to leave. Remember that?
Yeah.
I felt so bad for Mario when he got into prison. I'm like, why are you paid to so mean to him? Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, when I first played the game on, like, my little GameCube back in, like, 2011, I believe. So that was, like, maybe more than 10 years ago. So it was just, I would play to be honest, I would play video games a lot more than I would watch the actual new cartoons. Because...
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's just some. Because now you're watching a lot of these cartoons now. They're like so. It's just so guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure. Because you go through this phase like oh, this is nice, but then you get on like, nah, this is good. The only thing I don't have a pleasure for is watching anything from Hit Entertainment or PBS, because those are another ones that those are something that I've kept in. Those are shows that I've really enjoyed. So.
Yeah. You don't have commercials interrupting you. Yeah. So, how high up in the game do you get, or have you beat the game?
I have beat the game. I only did the final battle once because it's really hard to get up there with Bowser.
Yes.
It's really hard to get up there with Bowser. It's very hard to get up there. Like it's really hard to control Mario when you're floating in a boat. Like, it's very hard to control a boat. So I'm like, oh my god, come on. But I didn't, the GameCube, here's actually a fun story. So the GameCube has a weird thing where it, insufficient cult memory, sometimes it randomly erased some of my game data, I'll be honest with you. So I actually didn't get a chance to really beat the game till 2014 again. Yeah, we had to restart everything, so... Yeah, that's another story. But I have both the GameCube version and the Switch version. Sweet. So they're both at my dad's house, sadly. But hopefully I'll be back. Maybe be back there soon. Hopefully.
Okay.
It's just this just really makes my day to really talk to somebody that works for Nintendo, and it's just really this is just really It's really important to me.
I did get to do some more work with Nintendo that wasn't on the game side. Their marketing department, when they were promoting Splatoon.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
They come in, and I don't know if you saw the trailer for the first Splatoon, but I was.
Oh yeah, I have the first Splatoon.
The scientist. I was look at that. Oh, look at him. He's.
Also.
For that.
I wasn't so sure about this. I thought Charles Martinet was the voice of him, but it said that you were the voice of Toadsworth, and I thought Charles Martinet was for some of the games.
I think Toadsworth is the little short guy.
Yes, he was the old Toad.
I'm trying to remember his. Oh, tell me about him. Is he the voice like that?
Yes.
I forget. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Toadsworth. We see you there. Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to remember some of the dialogue. I'm sorry, I don't have any of the dialogue, but
it's fine.
There's a bit of Paul Harvey. Hello, American. Oh, it's been a while since I've.
It's been a while since you've voiced a lot of the games. It's been a while. It's been a long time. That's the thing. I think anywhere from the GameCube and the Wii era, any video games from the early, like, mid-2000s was, like, the best time to be a Mario gamer. Because they came out with Mario games every year.
Yes.
They came out with Mario Party every year. They came out with good Sonic games every year. Nintendo came out with good stuff every year. Now they don't do that anymore. They don't come out with good video games anymore, and I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah. Now, have you seen the movie version of Mario yet?
The movie version. Which one?
Doesn't Jack Black play Bowser now?
Yeah. We saw the new trailer. We haven't seen the movie yet. I don't think the movie's out yet. I know the trailer
maybe
is.
not.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
I know the trailer is out.
It's not yet.
I mean, to be honest, he definitely won't sound as good as you guys. Like you or Kenny you or Kenny James, who did it after you. He won't sound as good as you or Kenny James or anybody else. But it's really great. And honestly, I gotta say, so far your stories right now this long story. This has been the longest story that we have heard anybody do anything. Like,
I apologize.
No, that is excellent.
No.
Do not be sorry.
There's
no need to apologize. That's an amazing story.
Yeah,
thank you.
Right.
Well, and it's sad to hear. I mean, for me, I regret. I always wonder what would have happened had I said, "Okay, see you later, union. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this." But at the time, I needed to keep my union status, and it really hurt. But I've gotten so much residuals from Bowser, from opportunities like this to meet you people, and I've gone to a convention. I've gone to a year ago to the Milwaukee Gaming Convention.
Wow!
And now in May, I've been invited to an international event in the Netherlands.
Oh,
to appear and shake hands and meet people. I know I'm having to learn my Dutch, but to do go there and meet people as Bowser. I am getting rewarded, thankfully, even though I'm not. And they still they still keep repurposing me. So I am technically still part of the franchise. So
all right,
whatever.
That is cool. And also, I actually looked this up. I actually did look it up on your channel. Did you do any? I think you did one voice for the later seasons of Bob the Builder. Did you or no?
Of who?
I think you did. I think you did some of the voices in Bob the Builder. Did you? Because I saw it on your channel.
No. Did you see my YouTube channel? Is that what you saw?
Yes.
Okay. That was me. At the company I worked for, it was an advertising agency, and every Christmas, we would have an awards party, a Christmas party, and we would always put together my friend Tim Hunter, who is the creative director, the writer there. We would always produce little fun videos, and at the time, the owner of the company that I worked for also owned the building, and they were built. They were having a new parking lot built in the back and adding on to the building and stuff like that. So as a parody or whatever, I borrowed Bob the Builder video and inserted my voice in it as if I'm talking to the owner and talking, hey, tell us about it. So I'm sure that's
nice.
what you saw.
I think
it's just a parody bit.
Yeah, don't worry. We had somebody from Bob the Builder last episode. So,
cool.
Yeah, we had one of the directors from Bob the Builder. She didn't have enough time, but you know what? That's totally fine. I don't care about that. Whatever. This is really great. This is great that I'm able to talk to you. I'm a huge Mario fan, and I have these two plushies here. We have Mario, and then we have Luigi. I sadly do not have a Bowser. It's really, really sad I don't. And also,
Bowser.
Also, I have Lemmy here, but I do have Lemmy if that makes you any...
That makes me very happy. Yes.
Yeah, we have... I bought Lemmy at Nintendo World in New York City. Yeah, this is mainly just a recorded audio, and I know that a lot of people are going to be able to see that. But...
so they can't see. I have a recorded Lost in Space robot. Will that help?
Okay, but I do plan to release some snippets of things, and just, not tell anybody, but I do plan to release some snippets of, the behind the scenes of the recordings of how everything works.
Okay.
Because, yeah, Martin? Oh, nice.
How about an ostrich wearing glasses? Will that work?
That sounds like the show Ubi a little bit.
I'm kind of like looking for my
Ubi. I remember. Oh my god, that gives me Ubi vibes. I don't know if you remember Ubi or not, but that gives me Ubi vibes. The hand show Ubi. Yeah, that gives. Yeah. Wait, Martin.
Here's my puppy.
Oh, Martin, did you have a question for him, Martin?
Actually, yes. I actually have a question for Bowser. Actually.
Okay, let me go get him.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So Bowser, what do you like? What do you enjoy the most about voicing Bowser?
Well, no, that's a question for Scott to ask. That's not a question for Bowser.
Scott who? Scott's my alter ego.
Yeah.
I like breathing fire. I don't brush my teeth. And I like burning people.
Hey, Bowser! Look, we have the Mario Brothers here. Do you still hate Mario? I bet you still do.
Mario's. He's.
I don't know what. Yeah. Let me go find him.
Mario! How dare you ruin this podcast?
Oh my god! Oh my god, this is crazy already, man. I gotta say, this is gonna be a great podcast. I hope we get good views from this, cause if I don't, I'm gonna be like, I won't be completely angry, but it's whatever. What's
who to get to start breathing some fire on people?
Yeah, actually, what's one of your favorite Mario games to play? What was one of your favorite Mario games to voice? I mean,
Well, since they use, I guess Sunshine Mario, since that was kind of the opening of the beginning of everything.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, they never used Bowser's voice again. He just made sentences. He just went like roar, Simba's roar, or whatever like
I
that.
know he's Kenny James is doing that now, and I don't know why they didn't proceed with that. But I'm honored that they just thought, well, we can't top that.
Yeah.
Nobody can replicate that voice.
Yeah, they're just doing all these, they're just doing all these, they're just doing all these things with the voices, and it's just, well, and honestly, I'm going into another topic here. I've actually practiced some voice acting myself, actually, over the years. We have done some voice acting. I've actually done fan dubs of the older series of Thomas and Friends, which is one of my all-time favorite shows. We have done some redubs of that, and most of the time, Thomas was mainly just audio dialogue narratives all the time. But then later seasons they used a whole voice cast and everything like that. But of course, I prefer the audio narratives, like the old audio things, because there's just something about it that But we've been practicing, and also. You mentioned about voices earlier, not making it too scary for children. That was actually similar to something, alongside. I don't know if you remember when Alec Baldwin first did Thomas. For the U.S. dub, for the American dub. He did it for the American dub. The UK had another narrator. They had Michael Angelis for a long time. That was his name, Michael Angelis, and he did that. I think Alec Baldwin kind of his Gorton voice actually used to terrify me as a kid. I didn't like the way that... I don't think Gorton would sound that fat and that gay. I don't think he would sound like that. I think he would sound more grand. He would sound, not too scary. I always, the thing about this, you always want to give... When you're doing your own voice... always want to give it your own shot. You always want to give it your own, own take. You want to give it your own take and say, well, how would the fans feel? I don't think he would sound really that big and that chubby. So I'm like, okay, you just gotta. And I'll kid you not. One of the people from the Thomas community actually found a whole dubbing track of the series in a Korean DVD. They found it. And since then, we've been practicing dubbing over it, and it's really, really fun. It's really fun. If you like, I kid you not, if you look up Thomas and Friends season 5 in a dubbing track, you will completely see that the whole season is in that instrumental, like with the sound effects and everything. And we have done. I think I've done one episode and posted it as a redub before.
Wow.
And that's really.
It's funny when you mention the fans, because I've seen comments on different sites or YouTube or whatever, and it's weird to read. Scott. Yeah, it's really nice to hear nice things, but then when you hear somebody who doesn't favor you that much, it's like, oh, wait a minute. So it's weird to read your own press, but it all goes to the when I recorded for them, it was 3 guys from Nintendo and the engineer, and they were the nicest guys, and they basically had a laptop, or they each had their own laptop, and we just kind of went through different voices, and you get how about this, and then you read some lines, and then they would ask for an adjustment, and then when we landed on Santa Claus with a growl, boom, we got him.
Wow.
But then even there's the technical side of things too, with the growls or the laughs. Sometimes they say we need this to be 4.3 seconds long, because every line that you do is a little separate voice track, or it's an MP3, or whatever format they're using. But if you do a like that, they might say that was great, but can we tighten it up? So your internal brain has to go, okay, I'm going to shorten that by a second. And I don't know if that'll work or not. You'd think they could do it electronically, but maybe back then they didn't have that much technology with it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Of
But
course.
there's the technical side of voiceover that's a lot of people don't think about, in that you're working digitally, so you have to make things fit. So and then they'll get you for a bunch of different voices. Okay, he's falling through the clouds now, and so how do I do that? So it would be a just a fake. That was great. Now can you shorten that to 5 seconds? Okay.
And I remember that scene too, when Bowser falls down. I remember that scene too. I remember that.
Yes. Yeah,
I think that's what you were referencing there. I think you were referencing that, and then
his Zeppelin or whatever he's got. He's shooting at Mario.
Yeah, and then you would also have Canty as Junior. She would be going woohoo woohoo, and then you would have Charles Martinet going ho 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 ho, like that.
And then he just slowly using her umbrella.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so sweet and so fun. It's so fun to see the visuals after.
Yeah, you have 3 people just screaming the heck out of themselves, and then you have one just saying, you have a Peach going, and then everybody in Isle Elfino was just so excited when Mario saved them. And then the Painters felt very sorry, and they were wrong. So, actually, that's a good question. Hey, Painters, how did you feel, Police Painter? How do you feel after Mario? That you saw all the proof that Mario didn't do it. How did you reward Mario by doing?
Which character are you asking?
We're talking about the Sheriff Painter. I think you said that you played the Sheriff Painter. Did you?
Was he the sheriff that talked like this?
I think so.
Or was that the judge?
Wait a minute, that was the judge.
So?
I think that was the judge. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Sunshine.
Me too. I'm sorry,
It's
I
been
didn't do my research on
since I played Sunshine, so don't worry. I mean, I'm sure everybody. Did you play one of the Nokis as well in there, or no?
I did. They had, they just, they put a page up in front of you, and then would give you a little picture of them, and
wow.
Say, okay,
so you played one of the Nokis as well. Oh my God, you've done a lot of voices for Nintendo here.
They got a lot out of me. And that's why the union wasn't probably too happy that I don't get residuals.
Wow, this is really you've had quite a career here. Just like some of our other guests, you've had quite a career here. I gotta say, this is pretty good. This is pretty impressive. You're like, I don't know, like our 3rd or 4th voice actors here. We had a lot of Muppeteers and some composers on here, but You have done, man. You have done
Well,
quite the career.
I'd like to do more. If you know anybody,
Well, I don't think I know any. I don't think I know anybody, and I don't think we'll be able to give you any money. But yeah. But
it's.
But you want to know
Yeah,
something?
it's been fun. One job kind of leads to another. That the more you're around, and I guess the more the presence is known, then and it helped that Seattle, was a big video game production town. I mean,
Yes.
So and not so much anymore. Monolith. Games. I did a bunch of monsters and things for Monolith, which was bought by Warner Brothers, and then they moved to L.A.
Yeah, they did.
And that was done out of a house. Those were done out of this woman's house.
Whoa, those studio. Voices! Wow, so, that's really this is just incredible, and another incredible talent on my podcast. This is just wow. I didn't even know you did half of these Mario characters. I'm trying to think. Weren't you the announcer in Ellen too? Or was that, or I think I saw you in the background because I saw a promo on your channel of you on the Ellen show.
Okay, that's another thing I produced myself. I like to play with video and goof around. So
Same here.
I've actually gone. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. That was a trip I took to Los Angeles to work with a coach, an acting coach, because I thought, well, I'm gonna maybe I was really kind of hoping that someday I would get down to Los Angeles and work down there, because that's a lot of work. So while we were down there, my wife and I we went to the Ellen show as a treat. Now that's a full day job actually, because you have to get there early.
Yeah, that is
queue after queue after queue, and we finally got there, and it just so happened that Anne Hathaway was a guest. And she was promoting Alice in Wonderland. And they invited the audience to come watch the screening of Alice in Wonderland after the show.
Wow!
Which was fantastic.
Wow!
But I meant so I had a friend in Seattle. I said, could you take this? Is again before really the internet. Well, it was the internet.
Yeah, it was the internet, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Because gosh,
I asked somebody to videotape it for me.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to see the show, but you know how they pan the audience before the show begins, and there you could see me. I could see just my head, and so I managed to grab that. So I built this whole fake promo, around that I was the star of the show.
Yeah, that's
when Scott sat down and it was fun to mess with the Ellen video.
Wow,
I wasn't really on.
Yeah, it's like I explained earlier. I like to mess with a lot of Thomas stuff because Thomas is my all-time favorite show. Well, the model series is my all-time favorite. Yeah. Some about the CGI series, just Okay, but just continue, Hannah.
I hear a question.
I do have a question. So, sometimes it's not easy when it comes to overdoing lines, especially when it comes to acting. So what can you do to help you not overdo some of the voices that you like to do?
Well, that's a good question. I just so if I know, because that's a big thing now. They don't want a lot of the animation shows, Pixar and Disney, they want real genuine you. They don't really want the cartoon Saturday morning cartoon version, of things, even though those are still there. A way to do that I've found is if you familiarize yourself with the lines, but if you don't read the lines, if you close your eyes and say them, and if you have a pretty good memory, that works, and you only have to do a little line at a time. But if you close your eyes and forget and just say the lines, that makes it even more you. I mean, because your thought process is going in real time as opposed to just reading a script. So try that sometime. You have the script first, read it through once, and then close your eyes and try to say it as best as you can. And that you'll find that after a while, and I'm sure a lot of actors, you probably noticed if you watch them on videos where they're not reading the script, they're feeling it. So that's a good way to sound authentic. And if you miss a line or miss a word, so what? if you get the gist of what you're saying, and do it 3 times in a row with your eyes closed, because after a while, the first time you go, okay, I realized what I just said. I'm going to change it again. That series of 3, or ABC, or whatever you want to call it, Goldilocks, is a good way to think about it. Just right, too much, right there in the middle. But that's how I would. That will keep you from going so over the top by reading it and trying to project and trying to force yourself. I'd like to say there's a thing called voice overacting, and there's voice overacting.
Oh yes.
You don't want to overdo it. So, So try that sometime.
Yeah, I don't think you dubbed it though. I don't think you dubbed over Bowser when you did it. Bowser had to be your own sync.
He was over the top. I mean, yeah, and I kind of tempered him down too, man, because I could have been. I think the first growls were probably really mean, but when they said that, we don't want them too mean. We kids are watching. We don't want to scare the bejesus out of them. Even though
we don't want to scare the kiddies.
No. Because the kitties are you now.
Oh yeah, of course. Did you have something to say? Did you have something to say before that? I'm sorry if you did. You have something to say before that? Did you have something to say before? Or
me?
Yeah, did you?
Bowser?
Yeah, for like. No, did you have something to say beforehand? Like when I asked,
No.
I thought you were finishing. I didn't know you were finishing Hannah's question, so Yeah, it's just
Oh, damn.
The thing about all this. Now, I know that you actually did something for Star Fox. You did a Star Fox voice.
Yes.
I never played the Star Fox games, but I played Star Fox on Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was Beltino Toad Senior. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Congratulations, Star Fox. I think he was. We have done it. We have saved the planet, or something.
Yep, that sounds like some of the Mario characters. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
That was probably a little bit of Wizard of Oz. Might be from the Wizard of Oz guy.
Yeah, wasn't Jim Walker on those? Wasn't Jim Walker on those? And
I'm sorry.
Wasn't Jim Walker there and let's see, I'm sure Dex Manley and Dex Manley and Jim Walker, weren't they the voices at the time too when you did that game?
Yes. And Mike Matioy was he the voice of Star Fox himself?
I don't know. I don't know. I think Jim Walker was Fox and Dex Manley was Falco. He's done a lot of voices too.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of voices. He played Lakitu on Mario. In the Mario baseball game? Yeah, Sluggers? Yeah. He was Lakitu in that.
There's a lot of voice work out there.
Yeah, there is.
I'm surprised myself. I've gone on IMDb too and seen. Wow, I don't remember doing that, but now I do.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, we don't expect you guys to know everything. We don't expect you guys to know everything nowadays. I'm watching these podcasts, and I'm watching these podcasts now, and it's like I'm watching. There's other people. I have other friends that do podcasts. They a few of my friends have a big podcast as well, and it's
I think it's great that you're doing them because for when the podcast first started out, people were going, no one's going to listen to a podcast, but I think they're great.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, now everybody's doing. I think everybody's been doing it since the pandemic. Everybody's been doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all my friends were interviewing people from their childhood shows. I'm like, I was listening. There's a YouTuber by the name of James Nobes who did it, and these are my friends. My friends are people from the Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. They're doing their podcast, and I was listening to that. And I was seeing another guy from that did British exclusive shows or British exclusive stuff, and I was interested in after I saw that, I'm like. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start my own podcast, and because I was bored, I was, going through some things around that time. I was like, maybe I should start my own podcast, and eventually I started it.
You did, yeah.
I started it. We're on episode 15 now, and it's, it's really. It's. I have
amazing.
come a long way.
I'm proud of you for you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's
I appreciate
it's
that.
easy. It's easy to say, "Oh, I think I should do it," and then just never do it, and then
Yeah,
always wish
'cause-
you had, and then you beat yourself up for
Yeah,
it.
like
So,
it's like
no,
you
good
never
for you.
think you're going to be able to meet some of your people like that you played video games or watched on TV. You never thought you were going to do that because
Right.
it's impossible. And we were talking about. I think Hannah was talking about. And you were talking about when she had her question. She was talking about. How can a lot of people were just themselves when they come in. Well, here's the thing. I found out that a lot of the animated movies like Pixar and then DreamWorks and 20th Century Fox, they used real actors, like already actors.
Yes.
So that was not really an issue.
Let me share with you about the pics. That's very true.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Somebody's got something going. The Pixar. I attended a webinar or sat in on a webinar with one of the directors for Pixar, or two of them, and it's amazing how when they searched for they were searching for a kid voice. I forget what the show was now. They went the usual route of contacting agents and stuff, but they also reached out on their own to schools, after-school programs, youth programs.
Wow.
All these places where you wouldn't expect to find, voice talent.
Wow.
And scoured the country and other countries to find this
Whoa.
particular voice that they got. So they're and they also go on the internet and search YouTube and TikTok. And they look for comedians and storytellers, people with natural personality. It's not necessarily the voice they're looking for, but they want authentic people. So they do an extensive search.
Okay,
to
Martin,
find
welcome
their
back.
Voices.
Yeah.
I just had to make a phone call.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's totally fine. Your phone,
okay.
phone. How dare you?
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
phone. How dare you interrupt my podcast? Thank you. Okay.
You've called my glasses case. I don't know why.
God, you're a comedian too. Yo.
Wait,
Thank you.
Now you got my selfie stick. Wait,
You got a selfie stick? Yeah, I don't have a selfie stick, man. I gotta give me a few of these things.
How do you unstick a selfie stick? They're so sticky. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'm a prop comic. Hello.
I really don't know, man. I really do not know. Oh, actually, so we're gonna go ahead and get to one of my questions. Some of the questions here that we only have one question from somebody. I made a post on Instagram saying if you have anything for Scott Burns, please make sure you comment there. And that's what I normally do. I normally ask people questions. A lot of podcasts they don't do that. So they don't allow you to ask questions, but I have questions for this, and I think we only have one question, and this is from one of my followers, who's from one of my friends. His name is Alex, and he actually has a question. He says, "What's your favorite line you recorded?" And I think he's mentioning Bowser, but
What's my favorite what?
What was your favorite line you recorded for Bowser? And I think that's what he's referencing
to. It would probably
to.
have to be. You ready again?
Oh, yep. So you can say it again. Go ahead.
Mario!
Yep, we knew it.
How dare you ruin my family vacation?
Yep, we knew it. Yep, we knew it. Why do you like that line so much? I'll just ask, why do you like that line so much? Why do you like that line?
That's about the only big line he had. Well, at the end when he was talking to Bowser Jr., he goes,
oh, yeah.
A somber moment. I forget
he was like,
what they were
son, I have something to tell you.
Yes.
I know, yes. Mama Peach isn't really my mama. Yeah, Bowser was feeding lies to you. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think Bowser's more of a misunderstood person because, he's...
there's a lot of subtext there. That was...
I think they're just very misunderstood people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just very misunderstood, but we still have Lemmy here for you. Sorry I didn't buy Bowser for you.
I love that.
But we have Lemmy. And also, I think Lemmy was I think I had tried to get one of the other voices, but one of the other voices from the Mario games, one of them said they wanted money. I forgot who it was. Yeah, one of them wanted money. I forgot what it was. David J. I don't know. His name was David. He voiced.
Scully? David Scully?
No. It was. Okay. I forgot. David Fat. I think he's following me on Twitter. Actually, I forgot what his name was. I know his name was David, but yeah, okay. He was one of the voice of Ludwig, and I don't like. Oh. Let me see. David J. Goldfarb is what his name.
Oh.
Yeah,
that name is familiar.
Yeah,
I'm also thinking of Alan Goldfarb, the jeweler.
Yeah, but I want to know. I want to know? So there's another voice actress that I'm actually gonna probably have on my show. Her name is Lanny Morella, and she does a lot of voices. She has done voices for Sonic.
I don't know her, but I've heard that name. Yeah, she's.
She does a lot of voices. She's like as good as Tara Strong, or let's see, Grey DeLisle. I'm sure you know those two very well.
Yes,
you know them very well. Grey DeLisle and Tara Strong.
Yes, very much. I don't know them personally.
Yeah, I know, but then you have Rob Paulson, who did a lot of voices. Rob Paulson. Yes. I think those three are the most famous voice actors now. But we interviewed somebody from CW4 as well. We interviewed Mark Thompson back actually on the 10th of last year. So actually on the 10th, it was like on the 10th around this time last year. Me and another dude by the name of Jimmy Hayden, which I haven't really been, haven't talked to in quite some time. Yeah. But dude, he did a lot of. But dude, Mark Thompson did a lot of voices as well. Yes. Dude, he could still pull off. I don't know if you remember the show Word World or not. Dude.
No.
Dude, I wouldn't think so. But dude, he could pull off his shark impression. Oh my god, it was so good.
Yes.
Yeah. He still got
shark impression.
Yeah, he had a shark impression for Word World, and that's really cool. And he did a lot of anime stuff as well. And it's really great that we got a chance to have him, and then another few. What's that?
When I heard Mark did his shark voice, I was literally laughing my ass off.
Yeah. Did you ever meet the guy? Do you know the guy, Mark Thompson? That's another one I wanted to know. Do you know him at all?
I don't. I've been out of the realm of. I mean, there's so many people.
There is. Yeah, I just want to know because it's just really cool. We had people from Sega and Nintendo. They crossed over, and maybe you might know some of these voices and all like that. It's.
I did get to meet D. Bradley Baker and a couple at the Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh, D. Bradley Baker. Yeah.
Yeah, that man is mega talented.
Yeah, that's really.
Yes.
And Steve Bloom.
Yes.
Yeah,
nice. Steve Bloom as well.
Oh.
Yes.
Real nice.
I know Steve Bloom is, yes.
Yeah.
And Tom, oh gosh, now I've gone up. Oh, Nolan North was there.
I know Nolan North is.
Oh, yeah.
He's like in everything.
Have you met Tom Kenny yet, too? You know Tom Kenny?
No, I wish I did.
Oh, yeah, because he's another one I forgot to mention earlier. But you are only one of the few voice people that we got. And we actually got a singer. He actually sang for a lot of shows, a lot of movies. His name was Randy Crenshaw. Yeah.
Yes. I've heard that name. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy, oh my god, he is talented. That dude can do bass. Yes. He can do almost anything. We had him in episode 11, and he's done a lot of movies as well that I didn't even know he was in. Like, that is a phenomenal.
I'm going to write that name down.
Randy Crenshaw. Yeah, Randy Crenshaw. Yeah, we had him in episode 11. He was pretty good. He was pretty fun. I was hoping we could, I'm trying to get some people that are doing shows now. Like, I've been wanting to get, a few people from the shows that now. I've been wanting to get some people from the UK on here. I wanted to get a few of the witches, like from The Worst Witch. You wouldn't know what this was, but like it's a show called The Worst Witch, and it's a really good show. And actually, I think you may know this one person. She's actually really popular. Her name is Bella Ramsey. I don't know if you've heard of her or not.
That name's very familiar.
Yeah, because she voiced Hilda as well during her run with The Worst Witch. She voiced Hilda. And she's actually becoming popular because of The Last of Us, the new Last of Us thing.
Right.
Yeah, I want to get her on my podcast, but she has over 1 million views already. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get her on now.
Wow. You could try. How do you track these people down? Just off YouTube channels?
I mainly just sometimes I do email. I email people.
Yeah.
I try to see if they have a direct email and ask them if they would join the podcast. I don't really want to, I kind of didn't want to forward it to the agent, but now I'm feeling like, well, I got to kick this up a notch because this is.
Yeah. You've got a following here. You've got fans.
Yeah, I got fans. I need to try to get a podcast rolling, I got to get my podcast rolling, and it's really kind of hard. I'm kind of jealous because one of my friends, actually, they got a chance to interview one of my favorite Thomas narrators by the name of Michael Brandon. He worked for Hit Entertainment. He was one of the people who did Thomas.
Right.
I think you probably remember he was the American narrator. Yeah. Like, I was so jealous. I was like, what? How did you guys get him on? I thought he was impossible to get.
Shocked. Like, how in the world did you guys get Michael Brandon?
Yeah. Yeah, see, now we're not even talking about your stuff. We're talking about a whole...
No, I'm taking notes.
Well, we're talking about some people that I would like to have on my podcast. You got to get me some more people, Scott. You got to get me more people, please. Yeah. I know one person said that they would. You got to get me more people, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew how to get a hold of some of these. You could always go on Cameo and see if there's any. I don't know if you could reach out to him through Cameo by any chance.
No, you got to pay money for that, and I just.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm like, why do y'all care about money so much? Come on, can't you volunteer there? Volunteer your time. That's what I want to do.
The residuals have run out. So,
dude, when I saw your email. When you said you would join a podcast, I was like, thank you, Scott.
Oh, wow.
That was really impressive. You knew that. Honestly, I was thinking that, you were going to probably charge a little bit, but I'm like, no. I was like, thank you.
Didn't get my note?
I thought you were going to be one of those people. And I'm glad that wasn't your agent that called you, because, no, your agent, no. Your agent. No. I'm sure your agent wouldn't mind.
I'm thrilled. I do have to bail off though here because of our.
Okay, in a few minutes. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does anybody have anything they want to ask before I get to the big question? Because I'm going to have a big question before you go off.
Okay.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions?
Hannah.
Not right now.
You don't have any questions right now. Well, I mean, people are always free to email you and stuff like that. What's that?
I got one.
You got it?
I don't know if we've already established it, but how did you enjoy working with Humongous Entertainment and Papa and all that stuff?
I love them, and I wish that they were great. They were. It was like a family. If it seemed like it was always, and they were. I mean, I did a bulk of my work, I think, through Humongous. And it was a collaborative event, sometimes would, just in trying different voices and they preferred sometimes to use the voices that I had handy. I mean, there was a little concern on some of them because I did imitations of like Barney Fife. I don't know if you're familiar with Barney Fife, but
yeah,
whether they were,
yeah, I do.
So that, he was Mr. Utterly in was it one of the Spy Fox, or it was Spy Fox. I don't know if you remember Spy Fox or.
I've heard of it.
So
I think I've heard of it, but
he was Mr. Utterly, and he just talked like Barney Fife the whole time.
And we weren't sure if that was legal or not, but we said, yeah, go ahead, and we'll But they were just so, the writing was great, the production was fantastic, and I can't say enough great things about the folks at Humongous, and I wish that they were still, had the ownership in the same people in place, but life goes on.
All right, yeah. So I think I got one. Oh yeah, you got one, George. You got anybody that got any questions? Come on, let's roll it in.
For Bowser as well.
Oh, you got one for Bowser?
Mm-hmm. So Bowser, why do you always kidnap the princess even though you know Mario's gonna beat?
Have you seen Princess Peach? Hubba, hubba, hubba.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that's appropriate.
Yeah, Bowser. I wouldn't think that would be appropriate, Bowser. Yeah. You know, Bowser. So Bowser, how are you and your son getting along?
Oh, sing along. Me like sing. How come I'm talking like Tarzan? I don't know.
You don't know? I mean, you know, your son, not sing, your son.
Oh, Bowser Jr. Oh, yes. Bowser Jr. voiced by Dolores Rogers.
Yes.
That's a little bit of a trivia question for you. Wait, how did I get back in here?
I don't know. Get out of here, Scott. I'm talking to these nice people now.
Well, Bowser, you're gonna have to go in a minute, but you know. So, honestly, just to tell you.
Microphone every time I talk.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh my God, this has been really fun. But anyway, you know, just so you know, Scott, we have done some actual voice acting by one of my friends. I think one of my friends is trying to start up something. His name is Michael Ruffins, and he's starting, you know, his own designs and his own characters, and we've had an opportunity to voice for him, and it has been really a blast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
You know, what would you recommend for people who, you know, want to try to get into voice acting? This before I get into the final question.
Find a coach. Find an acting coach. I do coach too, so you can reach out to me.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good place to start. You will need finding an agent is that's not as imperative as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because now that we have the internet and all these pay-to-play sites and and the forums and the fan clubs and all this other stuff, so it's, you know, you will need to have some technical expertise with recording, having a nice quiet space to record from your home. You can do it from your home now, whereas before in the old days you'd have to go into a studio. So the opportunities are there. It's very competitive. I'm not going to you know, shake a stick at that. There's a whole bunch of people doing it, but the cream always rises to the top. And I'm a big believer, if you really, really want to do something like you've done, Sam, with your podcast, if you really want to do something, it will come. You know, you'll make it happen one way or another.
Yeah.
You don't know when or whatever, but I really believe that so don't let anybody tell you, well, you can't do this because this.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so competitive, you can't do that.
Do not.
Just you know, if it's your passion.
Yeah.
And don't expect to be making. Don't get into it because I'm going to make a lot of money.
Don't. Honestly, I don't expect to make money from this. I just expect people to listen to this and try to get as much as we can.
You can make money a lot at a time if it's, you know, I mean, because they pay well when you get into the union jobs, but it's not a consistent pay. You know, it's not like it's going to be every you know, full-time job for you. It's an acting job, so you could, you know, but definitely, I always suggest people get into improv groups, and they have improv groups on Zoom now, you know, and there's
absolutely,
there is something about that. It's a brave committing to something. They're fun. They're more fun than you can shake a stick at, if that's right. They have entertainment, and that's thank you, Roger Marks. Read a lot. I mean. And I would highly recommend go to D. Bradley Baker's website, iwannabeavoiceactor.com, if you haven't already. That's just the ultimate. There are others that are trying to do the same thing with that. Nice. But Joshua Alexander is a great a go-to guy. If you want to learn the business of voiceover, Joshua Alexander, Seattle Voice Talent, Seattle. Yeah, just type in Joshua Alexander.
Awesome.
He's a beast. He's a wonderful, genuine, great guy.
Cool.
Who else can I? He's been very gracious to me. But there, that would be the site. Those two sites to visit. You know, because it explains in full detail of what you need to kind of do. And there's a lot. There's no one door to go into. Everybody has their own door that they've entered.
Hold on.
You know,
I'm talking to one of my roommates.
I was
talking to one of my roommates. I was telling him to hold on.
Roommates. Yeah, you're supposed to leave a little scarf on the door.
Yeah, I might do that.
I don't know if that.
It's okay.
No, okay.
Continue the question. Continue the question.
Yeah.
Continue. I'm very sorry. Did you? Oh yeah. Well, I think you're finally done with whatever. But so we do have the voices. So I've actually voiced a character called Orange, and oh my gosh, I voiced a character called Orange in his productions, and he was this little orange. I'm like, hey, who's that big scary green monster over there with a turtle shell? Is that? Wait, hold on. That must be Bowser from Mario.
Wait, how come it smells like citrus in here?
All right, guys. Well, we got to ask this one final question. Yeah, we got to ask this one final question because how long do you have?
I've got about a minute.
Okay, here's the final question. So here's the bigger question. So this is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick, of course, me, of course. And since episode 11, since we had Randy, of course, I'm going to say that, but, I keep saying that, but, we have been asking people what is something that is entertainment treasure to you, like if it's, a TV show, a video game, or, what else? Music, or, something like that. Or a movie. What is something that is entertainment treasure to you?
I love music. I love music.
Awesome.
But I ruined it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like all kinds of entertainment. I love comedy. Comedians, give me a comedy any day. Give me a funny song. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do, music it's a mood builder. It takes you back to a favorite time of your life. It can, just any and all kinds of music. So I would say I would go with music first, comedy, and cartoons. I love, even drawing artwork and just doodling and that kind of stuff. Just the creative side of the brain is swollen. The business side isn't so good, but that's that's atrophied.
Of course. Well, everybody, I am very glad you all had so much fun today. I had so much fun with Mr. Scott today. Man, I gotta say, this has probably been really successful. This has been a really successful episode.
Thank you.
And thank you, Scott. We've completed 15 episodes. Let's hope to see who we can try to get. I'm trying to contact. I think I got in contact with one other voice dude, but he only voiced one character from the Sonic series. I don't know. I don't know when we'll have him, but if it's whether it's the next episode or the episode after that, but we might have somebody else. Who knows?
We can email back and forth. I'll keep some people in mind here for
thank you. And don't forget to follow my the YouTube channel of Entertainment Treasure Talk, Scott. You can do that.
You got it.
And guys. But once again, I want to thank my three co-hosts, Martin, Hannah, and Jordan. And thank you, Mr. Burns, for being a part of my show.
Sam.
And you meet by both in Versa.
Don't you ruin my family vacation.
Absolutely, Bowser. Thank you for being an Entertainment Treasure Talk. Yes, you too, Bowser. Yeah, Bowser. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Talk
with you all soon.
Thank you, guys, and thank you guys for joining the podcast. And don't forget that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. And we will see everybody in the next episode of the podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Adios. Au revoir.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.